Right, so it's another day and another reverse walking fest. I'm gonna confess a few bits and pieces here with you guys that have been going on in my mind while I do this walking, yes, backwards. So what I wanted to touch on today was a bit more about the mental state of life. So when life gets you in these little slumps, and as they say, when life gets you down, there's a little part of you that must understand that you can't be in this moment for too long. Not only because the moments always pass, and that is one thing we know, is time will always keep going no matter what. And things can't always be static and the same. What goes up must come down, yin, yang, whatever it may be in your world. But balance has to somehow work itself. So whenever you're feeling lower than, say, an average baseline or average or medium, there's got to be another high above that medium line to the equivalent nature of that low. That's balance. That's what the universe is like. But how long you live in that low, that's on you. And what opportunities you see and or grab and use to give you a little bit more of that high, that's also on you. So if you're running around sad, upset, pissed off, angry at whoever or whatever happens, and you're not open and aware enough to see what is actually going on around you, then there's a whole bunch of these little opportunities that you can be using to feel a bit better, to prop yourself back up, to get back on the horse, so to speak. But you're not seeing them because you're running around with your head between your legs and looking at the ground and maybe, sitting on the couch, eating terrible food and binge watching TV shows. Nothing wrong with binge watching TV shows if that's the purpose of the day or the evening. But if it's just because you're bored and you got no energy and you feel depressed and sad, that's not a good place to be. So what I'm trying to say is encouraging you to get out and do a few bits and pieces that are going to show you some of the things that could easily be grabbed, some of the little signs that are there to help you pick yourself back up. You just decide to go for a coffee in the mall. There's a bit more social people and you run into an old friend and all of a sudden you're hanging out with them on the weekend and there goes that little high that's going to take you out of that little slump you were in. But you would have never ran into that friend and gone for that coffee and whatever if you had just been wallowing on the couch and sitting in Cheeto crumbs. So what I'm trying to say here, I guess, long-winded, but I am trying to drag this out because I'm trying to walk for a little bit longer today, or reverse walk for a little bit longer today. And that is because, well, what I'm trying to say is because I want to encourage you guys to be aware that whenever you are in a low, whenever there is a slump in your life, whenever there is sadness, as I have experienced in the last couple of days, there's always opportunities to help you get out of those things. Now, you can create those opportunities yourself if you are aware enough and understand, at least through maybe historical events in your past, that with every low comes a high. Or at least if you're not aware of that, stay aware enough to see the opportunities that are in front of you. Try not to wallow in too much of that depressive state and get yourself back out there, and you'll see that the world will reward you for that. The world, or the universe, God, whatever you call it, will always reward you for the effort. This is for sure. Smile, be nice, be friendly, and you'll be surprised how many people will smile, be nice, and friendly back. I tend to look like a little bit grumpy, frowning kind of dude all the time, which is completely the opposite of how I feel 99.9% of the time, but I guess I got that resting C face, or whatever the male equivalent is. Either way, regardless, I'm going off topic as I do. I wanted to encourage you guys to not sit and wallow in the low. Get out there and look for opportunities to help you get back onto that medium and possibly higher level than you were before, because you've got to get that balance in. Once you have that, then you'll find that mental fragile or emotional spot you're in before. So I had, just to share, 3 friends that I'd met through the years of traveling that all ended their own lives. Is probably the polite way to say it. Within 2 days, within 24 hours, 2 days, but within 24 hours. And I didn't know that that's where they were at personally. And it kind of hit me a little bit like, if I'd kept in touch, maybe I would have been aware. If I'd been aware, maybe there would have been something that could have happened as a result. It doesn't mean that I could have done anything, but you never know. You can say things to people and sometimes this can turn the light switch on and it can help them out. So the butterfly effect could have been big. So finding out about these 3 guys who are all from 3 completely different continents, actually don't know each other, all within essentially 2 days or 24, 30-hour period. And I found out about all 3 of them within 2 hours, just by jumping on one of the little social media things, and bing, bang, bong, there it was. I found this really disheartening. It got me in a bit of a low spot. I felt really, I don't know what I felt, to be honest. I wrote some stuff down when I journaled on how I felt, but I let that go. Like, journaling just lets me get rid of those feelings so I don't hold on to them. And I guess that's a good sign right now that I can't really remember exactly everything I wrote down. I can visually picture a couple of words now, but essentially that's not the point. What I'm trying to say is that even though this stuff is tragic and even though this stuff is sad and I could sit here and wallow, it put me in a low spot for a few days. I'm ashamed to say that I didn't do any physical gym training yesterday. I felt terrible for that. I did a 18-hour work day from 10 a.m. till 4:30 a.m. the next day. Essentially non-stop on my feet the whole time. So it's not really a physical output issue. It's definitely a physical output issue. Definitely no physical output issue there. But what I didn't do is anything like a workout at all. And it's easy to, I could have pumped out a couple of 100 push-ups and sets of 20, 25, 30 or something through the day there. I could have cranked out sets of 20 burpees 5-6 times through that, whatever. I just didn't. I wallowed in my little, sadness, little bucket of sadness. But a couple of people helped me out. I wrote it down to get rid of the feelings and the emotions so that I could then talk about it, which I did on my Instagram feed, and I appreciate everybody who tapped in. It was long-winded and boring, but it was more of a therapy session, I guess, and I wanted to share that with those who sort of, I guess, care in a way, social media speaking. I don't think I have too many fans, so to speak. I do have a few friends that are social media connected. So I appreciate that. And it got me out. And all I saw was a couple of opportunities. I didn't see it until a little bit later, but those little opportunities to help myself get out of that little wallowing little movement that my body and my mind were going through really felt better. Had a better night's sleep. I only slept a couple of hours the night I found out. Just couldn't fall asleep after midnight for some reason. I got people that are around me at the moment that are good for keeping me balanced as far as purpose-driven goal and health and stability. So I felt that was good, and I appreciate that those people know who they are. But I wanted to share with you guys and encourage you guys to not sit and wallow inside these lows for too long. If you have to, then I understand completely, but don't sit there and use it as an excuse. Don't show people and teach people to feel sorry for you by saying, here's this problem that I have. Because essentially you'll always have that as your association to attention or validation or connecting to people. And that's a bad habit to get into. It's something I see, unfortunately, way too often. So when someone shows me and tells me about their problem, my initial instinct as a coach is to try and find a solution, but then they pull back. They don't want the solution. They don't want the problem fixed, because if they don't have that problem, then it almost feels to them, I guess, like, what do I have then? What am I? Who am I? If I don't have anything else to get that attention that we all seek and in some form or manner need. So anyway, the encouragement here, as I said a couple of times already, and I'm just mumbling on, so I'm going to end this here, is just with every low there is a high, and life is preparing you for highs by giving you lows. So although you need to go through the pile of shit sometimes, just know that it's not always going to be like that. Dig yourself out, walk through it, be in it, be living in the moment, and understand and know that that's just temporary. Speaking of temporary, I'm going to temporarily pause this so you guys don't have to listen to me go on and on, as a few thoughts have just come to mind and I'm going to process them, and I'll keep them this for another 5-10 minutes and I'll catch you guys on the next exercise. Hey, so I realized I was talking for a good 15 minutes without the camera on when I was doing the stair climbing. Lesson learned. Look for the red light. But anyway, here I am. Not going to be doing too much today, as it is in between time of my 15 to 20 hour shifts. I have two 15 to 20 hour shifts on the weekends, and this is the in between the first and the second. So I like to get out here and get a little something done, get some movement going, but nothing too strenuous or too crazy. So not gonna be doing anything too heavy or too strenuous, but I will be taking you guys through a little bit of what I would do as a little bit of a circuit, which I'll just do 3. So I'll do a pull, a push, and a leg exercise, keeping things really simple. I'll keep the camera running through the whole thing. You may see me fast forward a few bits and pieces that are maybe irrelevant and silly, and I might go on some random little tangents, or it might be dead silent for 5-10 minutes, which is not going to be entertaining for anyone. But I'll try and get through a few rounds of this. I'll be doing I've got 2 dumbbells there. I'm going to start off with just the one and see how my knees feel. My knees are a little bit sketchy at the moment, but I'll see how they feel. So I might go just the 1 dumbbell to start with, otherwise 2 dumbbells for a Bulgarian split squat. I'll do a chin up there, and I got an incline sit up at, pretty lightweight, whatever that is, 50, 60 kilos or something, on the incline Smith machine, bench press, incline bench press. So yeah, I'll just essentially be doing that for the next 15-20 minutes, just going around, taking a little bit of a break in between each one. I'm not trying to create any sort of CrossFit or intense, can't talk type of workout intensity. It's just keeping it chill and simple. But yeah, just showing you guys something a little different on my little in-between day. And then I'll be back next week for something a little bit more intense. I'm wearing a lot of white these days. I apologize if that looks terrible on camera, but it is what it is. So I'll start off with chin-ups. I've already done a few reps of the chin-ups to warm up with, a couple of small sets of 5 to 10 on here, and a few lunges without the dumbbells just to warm up. So I'm 2 rounds, two sets of each in already, technically speaking. But I'll try and get another 5 out, and yeah, just talk you guys through a little bit of it, and let's see what comes out of it. All right. So not sure if facing the front or facing the back is the best, but I'll try to alternate between the 2 as far as these chin-ups is concerned. I will be, actually, let me just change the camera angle so you can see. Okay, so there we go. We should be able to see that a bit better now. With the chin-ups, I've explained this on previous videos as far as the technique is concerned. So I'm just worried about technique and making sure I'm getting good contractions through the muscles of trying to contract. I'm trying to connect my mind and my body together and let me feel exactly what it is that I'm trying to feel and where it's supposed to feel. But at the same time, trying to be aware of the things that maybe I am feeling that I shouldn't be feeling, so I can make changes either right then and there in the moment or on the next set and previous sets to come. So just an overhand grip. All right, so set of 10 seems to be not bad. What I might do, no, actually, I'll leave it like that. I get random ideas every once in a while, obviously. I've been done quite a few of these little workouts back in the last 20 years or so. I sort of sometimes get like inspired from something I remembered on the spot and go, oh, I'm gonna switch up my training program. It's probably not the greatest thing, might be a little bit of fault, but it's actually something I've done consistently. So maybe the consistency is that I don't stick to the same sort of regime and program all the time. There's been times when I competed on stage in fitness competitions where I had to stick to the same sort of program for a while just to get things moving and going the right way. And I enjoyed that, but it's not something I'm willing to do right now. It's winter time here, so I'm kind of the opposite in that in winter time, I like to stay in good shape versus the bulking that everyone talks about. I don't get into that at all. Be the opposite of everyone and probably stand out a little better, I say. Anyway, let's get into these. This left knee is my problem knee, so I'll do that one first while I have a little bit more energy. Feeling it here and here, which is where it should be for me. Trying not to put too much weight on that back foot. As you can see, I was moving my back foot around a little bit because I could feel it. I was pushing against the box with my foot, which ain't correct. Right, so I'll probably just stick to that. Single dumbbell. I did 10 here, 10 each leg on this one also, I believe. And I'll do 10 on the incline press next. And I'll catch my breath a little. These things take it out of me because I don't really train my legs too much because of all the little injuries that I have, which I can probably just quickly tap into. But I've had ACL and PCL tears, some small, micro, some a little bit bigger. Oh, probably a good 10 to 12. From my first one being around 15, 16 years old. I've gone in and had some surgery, arthroscopies. The last surgery, before I quit surgeries, they went in and tried to reattach. I woke up thinking, yay, the knee's not swollen. Woohoo. They're like, oh, actually we did nothing because we couldn't even find any ACL to reattach because it had essentially just torn itself off bit by bit by bit to the point where there just wasn't much left. So at this point I kind of gave up. And they told me there's essentially no ACL, PCL in the left knee and a little bit of PCL left in the right knee. So this is definitely not how it should be done, guys. Do not follow what I did here, and hopefully you'll listen to some of the advice I'll have in sharing in the next future videos about the mistakes I made so that they don't happen to you guys. But anyway, that's the reason why the knees are like that and why I sort of stay away from knees. But it's good to keep them doing something at some point. So I'll tap into them a little bit here and there. Otherwise, I'll stay away from the big heavy stuff. You can take it. The bench. The bench, you mean the bench? Yeah, no.
I didn't want to knock your stuff.
Oh, my bad.
Floor, yeah.
I didn't even know that was there. My bad.
Thank you, man.
No worries, take it. All right, hopefully red light's still on. Squeezing the chest at the top, especially because this is a weaker part of my body, or my chest, the upper part. Also, the first time today I'm doing the microphone under the t-shirt, so if it's rubbing and doing a whole bunch of different weird noises, and it sounds like I apologize, but trying something a little bit new. I'll do some curls with these in between. Well, not only to keep my heart rate going a little bit, but to pre-work and pre-fatigue the biceps a little bit for the chin-ups, which would then encourage me to recruit more of the back muscles than the biceps, which I tend to do. These are not heavy weights, especially for curls, or for me, I tend to be pretty strong with the curls. So this is just a little fatigue and keep the heart rate going. As you can see, it's not too tough. I'm still talking and breathing relatively normal as far as I'm still training. Plus it makes me feel like I didn't waste grabbing both dumbbells. So round 1 of 5 done there. I'll go down in 2 reps each round and lower the rest period in between each one. So that's not to be too much for you guys to hang around, listen to me waddle on about rubbish that might not be interesting to you, but I appreciate you sticking about, listening, maybe subscribing, commenting, all that stuff they tell you to do, just so that I can essentially just have you guys learn a little something, but also helps me talk, communicate, and be with people that are into the same things I am. So round of 10 done, so I'll do a round of 8 now. I'll try and go through this round without talking too much. So it might be a bit silent for you guys. Enjoy the really steady background music that I've got there. And I'll turn the face the other way for these 8, just alternate between the two so you guys can see maybe different angles and how I do stuff. All right, so just realizing I should have done those first, the fatigue, prior to the pull-up versus the dawn. My biceps will probably recover quick enough that they don't really affect. Let's see, the reps are low. That's where I'm concerned it might not be too much of a challenge. If I had just a normal energy and I was doing this as an actual sit-up workout, I'd say I probably would have done probably sets of 10, somewhere between 5 to 10 rounds, seeing how I feel. And I would have added probably one more exercise in there to do with probably something around my core. And not a core exercise like people think. Not even really a ab exercise either, but something that incorporates the connection of the core to the rest of the body, whether it be core connecting to the upper body or core connecting to the lower body. But that's for another day. I'll try and make sure I incorporate something like a wood chop, which is what comes to mind when it comes to this, in the next video. So there's people over there using the only machine in the gym that I can actually use anyway for that, because of the adjustable cable pulley. So wouldn't be able to do it even if I wanted to. I'm not a big fan of abs. As far as isolating abs, I will do some core stuff. Stabilizing core is important, but I do that a lot in most of my exercises anyway. I stabilize the core and everything anyway, so that's normally not a big thing. I will do hanging leg raises for abs, and I like to do like really stretched out exercises. So maybe like a butterfly, full butterfly sit up or sit to stand, or a walkout, something like that. That's more practical, because then I feel personally that the abs are there to connect. So the strongest abs are always the ones that are trained in conjunction with everything, the whole body, and the ones that are able to hold and stabilize and connect upper and lower body together through the core, versus abs that are, you know, got a weighted machine on some cable crunches, or an ab machine with, you know, whatever, 100 pounds on it or something. Those might be okay to build up the muscle so it looks good for specific purposes and reasons, but generally speaking, I'm a big fan of holding on to that stabilizing type ab, an ab that connects, so more of an isometric strength with eccentric and concentric movements versus the other way around. So anyway, I feel like it's a little too much talking. For the rest, taking this time, round 6.
All right, so 10, 8, and 6 done. My mind is listening to the little voice in my head. I call him Mike, for anyone who's unaware. That little guy that challenges me, tells me how much of a sissy and pussy I'm being sometimes. His name's Mike. Mike is telling me that doing around a 4 and 2 would just be too easy. This time, I actually agree with the guy. So what I'm gonna do is have a little rest, then I'm gonna go back up. So it'll end up being 10, 8, 6, 8, 10. So instead of going 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, all the way down, I'll go down and back up again. So next round, 8, and the final round, 10. Should be interesting. Haven't done anything like that in a while. I'm huffing and puffing and feeling it, so let's see how that goes. Drink, pretty good idea. So this morning's pre-workout was 2 grams of sodium, half a scoop of 5150 pre-workout, and about a quarter of a cup of coffee. It was so hot I couldn't drink it in time, so I got the other 3/4 at home now waiting for my return. And in here I have a full spectrum of electrolytes from a company that has it all in one. Not sure if I should be mentioning companies, but just ask me in the comments and I'm happy to share a link. And another 2 grams of sodium in here as well. My post-workout shake will contain probably about 70 grams of protein, 50 from whey and 20 to 25 from collagen. I'll have about 5-6 grams of creatine. I'll have all 8 magnesiums in a elemental magnesium mix, powdered mix. And I'll mix all that in a shake with probably banana, 2 raw eggs, and some blueberries. That'll be my post-workout shake, or what I call my soft meal. And then I'll probably snack middle of the afternoon on a couple of mandarins. If I'm gonna have anything sweet and, you know, reward meal type of food, it'll be that time, mid-afternoon. Being that I'll be awake until about 5 a.m., which is another 16 hours from now. It's not really afternoon, so to speak, for me or my time awake. So I've got all day to burn off, maybe a cookie or something like that, a donut. I do enjoy a donut with my coffee, so maybe that'll be it. Maybe let's see what's available on the drive home. So that'll be about it, and then I'll have a solid meal before I go to work. Probably some fish or some sort of meat with some cruciferous vegetables and maybe some potatoes. Use the air fry, make mine little Alabama fries, we'll call them. Not French fries, but Alabama fries. So I'll do that. And then I'll stay hydrated and bring another one of these water bottles with me to work for the 6-7 hour shift and just sip on that through the evening with just electrolytes and salt in them too. I may have maybe a 0 sugar energy drink or something around 8 or 9 p.m. About 8 or 9 hours before I plan on going to bed, and that's about it. That's how I'll usually rotate and run those sort of Friday and Saturday nights, because they're just awkward night shift stuff. But that is what it is. So anyway, I'm gonna go back and do that round of 8 now. Talking too much. All right, so I felt a little something in my elbow here, my right elbow, on the last 2 pull-ups. And as I was looking in the mirror, I realized my shoulder was shrugging. I wasn't pulling my shoulders down prior to pulling with my arms. My right shoulder was kind of lifting up at the same time. And if that happens, that means that the shoulder girdle, the shoulder joint, so to speak, is being disconnected from the torso. And the muscles that would normally typically hold it and seatbelt it in together were not engaged. Therefore, there was no kinetic energy transfer, and then my arm had to create power on its own from the bar. So my grip and my bicep were essentially working more than they should. And being the grip is here and the bicep is here, obviously the joint in between is the one that's sort of a bit weak, I guess, or whatever, and decided to let me know. I'm just gonna go to the bathroom. Right, I'm more than likely to cut that little bit out, but it was a little bit, needed to go to the toilet, so it's been about a minute. Right, so I was just asked on the way to the bathroom what I was doing. And I started talking about, YouTube. Sharing my, dude was like, dude, I just want to know what this workout you're doing. He didn't give a fuck. So cool. So I just explained to him I'm doing like a bit of a routine in a circuit. And then he asked if that's how I train all the time. I said, no, I change it up all the time. So I want to make sure you guys understand that this is not something I do every day. It's not part of the bigger picture. I don't have a big periodized macro plan set up apart from just maintaining and keeping decent shape, which I have already established through years of training and consistency. If there's any other little bits and pieces that sort of shape up as a result, then cool. Some things might get a little smaller, some things might get a little bit bigger. It's okay, they're not going to be too big, too drastic, so I'm fine with it. I guess we'll get a better idea, and I might get motivated to do something a little bit different in another time, and I'll definitely be showing you guys and sharing you guys what that will be whenever that comes up if it does. Maybe closer to summer or something. Might do something a bit more based around abs and beach body type stuff. By the time this video hits, no, actually, I just would have started. So I've recently been talking to a friend who wanted to get back into the gym, so I've decided to help her out a little bit and start doing a few burpees and stuff with her in the mornings, just to get her out of bed and get her started. Now that may not be mornings for all of us because she's on the opposite side of the globe, but I'm gonna try and find a time that suits her since she's the first person to suggest it and want to be on board. So I'm accustomed as much as I can to a training program as far as those burpees are concerned with her. If there's something you want to do, just jump on board. You can send me a message on Instagram. I have the same name as this channel. You can comment on this channel if you like. And I'm happy to send you guys either the link or maybe just be able to put down a time, and I might just go live on Instagram instead and get you guys to jump on board with me and do it that way. It's just me on camera. Nobody has to be on camera. Otherwise, I might do a little group thing where everybody can jump on and use one of the apps, which I'll figure out and see if there's something that she'd be interested in. Not sure if she wants to be on camera and stuff, so we'll see. Everybody's different when it comes to that stuff. It took me years to be able to socially comfortable with even just this, so I can understand that 100%. But anyway, I'll do another round of 10 here and that'll finish me off for this little round and routine. But yeah, I'm trying to get you guys to understand a whole bunch of different ways of training, talk you through sometimes technique, talk you through sometimes mental bits and blocks that I have, therapy type stuff. Gym is my therapy, so being able to talk to you guys during gym is double the help. I appreciate you guys' time, but at the same time, if you guys like this kind of stuff, then yeah, you can alternate and change things. This is essentially a push, a pull, and a press as far as leg is concerned, and something a little bit fun like a dumbbell, just trying to pre-exhaust bicep, but you could do ab or core or something in between there. That'd be decent. Some of my other previous sessions have been more isolated and intense on one specific muscle group or whatever, but everything's different, so just be aware of that as you go along. All right, last round of 10. Feeling that in the knee. So that's enough as far as the work is concerned, and understanding that I've caused enough damage there to warrant some sort of response. So it's not always about the weight, how many reps and sets, the exhaustion, the work you're putting in the muscle. All right, finish off with these curls, which I've realized in retrospect has actually done the complete opposite of what I wanted them to do. But it's okay. I said I'd do it. So here we are. So, notes. Add the curls before the pull-ups. If the purpose is if the purpose is to pre-exhaust the bicep, should have done the bra just before the pull-up instead of at the end. I guess at the beginning I thought I was going to be doing non-stop rounds, so it didn't really matter, but I was wrong. So next time, if I do something like that, that'll probably be the way that I do it. Next one is that pulley, allowing the elbow to have something in the muscles around the elbow to connect to something. Keep an eye on that, because that is not a good thing. Didn't happen the next sets. So I rectified and fixed that little problem, which is good. But I prefer to not have that even pop up at all. Next part is legs. They're not strong. I can stand, I can walk all day. But when it comes to weights and single leg stuff, the instability of the knee joint without the appropriate tendons and ligaments doing what they should be doing, is putting a bit more of a load on some of the muscles to do the work for them. That's exhausting them quite a bit, those muscles. So I'm feeling muscles, attachment points, not the meat, not the belly of the muscle. That's enough. So ease off. That'll be enough for a bit. And that, upon reflection, probably a little too light. I lift a few things up and down for the job, so I'm trying not to do too much overhead. I had set up a shoulder press, but changed my mind and went to this instead. So could have perhaps done a little bit more than this. I guess because it's a Smith machine, I did not account for the fact that the bar doesn't weigh 44 pounds when it's attached to the Smith machine. So next time I'll pop that up. But anyway, that was today's little workout. I did about 15 minutes of reverse walking in the treadmill. Another 16 or 17 minutes, whatever it is, for my 1,000 steps in the stepper. I didn't get to record that, unfortunately. I'm a little silly with my recording. I'll make up for that next time. And then 5 rounds of the circuit of 10, 8, 6, 8, 10 of chin-ups, dumbbell split squats or Bulgarian split squats, incline, Smith machine, press, and dumbbell alternating press. I feel good, definitely sweating a bit, which is what I needed. Heart rate's at a decent level, about 100-ish, just from getting it. Still got to hold a conversation, but not fully all the way, which is exactly where I want to be. So I'll see you guys on the next one. And yeah, if you want to join the little burpee stuff, just keep an eye on my Instagram. I'll post on there, whether I do it live through Instagram or through another app. And hopefully see you guys there. Sorry, I'm standing up. Energy's a little lower than I thought. No food, long day. But anyway, peace.